I hope all of you have had a great Thanksgiving with your family. I'm here with mine. I thought, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a little bit more history about me and the story of how this all came about with these lease purchases. I'm here at home and I was able to go through and find some really old statements to show you guys. But I want to tell you how it all began. We kind of, after we had took our trucking company down into Southwest Florida, when our father passed away, we had sold the trucking company. We did it at a perfect time. This was before the market crashed, before regulation choked out the industry. This was before everything turned into the circus that you see today. I was still young. I was mid 30s. I was full of fire. Honestly, I was still in love with trucking. Even after selling the business, trucking wasn't quite done with me yet. I had no idea where I fit anymore. I just didn't know what the next chapter looked like. I just knew I wasn't ready to sit on a porch in Southwest Florida drinking iced tea and talking about the good old days. Just not yet. It wasn't for me yet. Then we met this couple running Ryder Rentals. And listen, back then I had no idea that you could rent a truck and slap it onto a carrier like it was a pair of sneakers from Walmart. We built our own trucks. We had our own lanes, our own name. But I was searching for directions, so I thought, hell, let's try it. And, we did. At first, when we first started it, sometimes it felt like I was making out like a bandit. I was out there thinking, I've broke the system. I might as well had a cowboy hat on with theme music playing behind me. This was pre-ELD days. This was paper log era time. And when it came to paper logs, I was a damn surgeon. Michelangelo had the Sistine Chapel. I had a logbook. I could make a 22-hour day like a church picnic and a quick stop subway. Because of that, I was running miles like a man that was possessed. But even with that grind, something still felt off. Something still did not feel right. There were weeks I hit, insane numbers. And when I say insane numbers, this was doing dry van reefer work and stuff. I had just got out of doing heavy haul, and this was something that was kind of new to me that I was playing with. And there was weeks that I would gross 10,000. Somehow I'd end up negative $980. I actually have one of the statements I'll show to you guys at the end of this. But really, I was negative from 10,000. I still to this day, I look at that statement and I go, hold on, I might be ugly, but I ain't stupid. And that's when it all hit me. Like it really hit me like a freight liner run over the top of me. It didn't matter how hard I worked. The program itself was designed to beat me. And that drove me insane because I'm one of the hardest working people you're ever going to meet. I take care of my family. I grind. I push. I sacrifice. I've worked jobs that would kill weaker men. So to give everything I had and still lose, something was broken. Especially because I came from a legal, honest trucking family. We didn't skim. We didn't hide money. We didn't rob Peter to pay Paul. We did things clean. Meanwhile, the people that I had put the trucks on, working with, meanwhile, the people running this operation, they were living great, man. I'm talking a house so big you needed a map to find the kitchen, cars that cost more than most people's small homes. They were taking vacations every other month. So I started wondering, what the hell are they doing that my family never did? And the curiosity was chewing at me. Then came the moment that everything changed. I finally I told them that I wanted to spend some more time with my daughter, and I told them that I was leaving. And that's when they looked at me and they were like, do you want to run operations for us? Now, look, here's a little bit of more of my history you guys don't understand. They didn't pick me randomly. They'd seen how I ran my truck. They seen the miles, the discipline. They seen the revenue that was pouring in, and they wanted to clone me. They wanted to copy and paste my work ethic into their entire fleet. And truth be told, I wanted something too. I wanted knowledge. I wanted to understand their business model behind the curtain, how the money moved, how the rates were set, how contracts were worked, how deductions were engineered. So I said, yeah, and that's when everything really unraveled. Running operations put me dead in the center of it. I was watching dispatching, planning, the accounting, the payroll, everything. And the people who worked in that office, a lot of them were great, especially one of the accountants. I loved her like family. Honest woman, good heart. If the Titanic went down, she'd be handing out life jackets to the very last second. This is the kind of person she was. She trusted me, and because she trusted me, I got access to everything. So when she would come in the morning, they'd unlock the office and they would unlock all of the drawers. And during the day, throughout the day, I would start pulling driver settlements to be able to talk to drivers and show them, the kind of money they could make and that they'd be able to take home. But what I was also doing was I would take quite a few of them and I'd go into the kitchen and I'd lay them across the table like I was solving a murder case. And that's when I started really learning the truth. A lot of people didn't realize what I was doing, and I'd been doing it for months. They had kept two sets of statements. They'd kept the real one, and then they had kept the edited one that the driver had got. Side by side, they were literally, the difference in them were night and day. Different rates, fake fuel charges, inflated deductions, changed miles, truck payments that grew like weeds every week. And drivers weren't failing because they were bad. They were failing because the system was designed to drain them. And once I had figured out their entire business model, it burned me. I'm talking, it scorched the earth so deep, the rage in me. I felt like a scorched devil walking around. The anger I felt was on another level because I knew something dangerous. If I stayed any longer, I was genuinely afraid of what I might do to the owner. And that's the truth. And that's what scared me. I wasn't raised to think like these people were thinking. My father died driving a truck legally, cleanly, the right way. And I refused to let that anger turn me into someone I wasn't. But once the picture finally came together, once I saw the whole puzzle, man, the disappointment hit harder than the anger. Because I seen everything, the freight consolidation, the cheating of shippers, the rate confirmations magically changing, the numbers being manipulated, the drivers being bled dry, the profits being pocketed, and the lifestyle that was built on lies. And it hit me straight into the heart. A normal, honest man doing the right thing has a hard time surviving in trucking, while people like them are living like kings because they're stealing everything. That was the biggest disappointment. A part of me wanted to believe these people were doing it right. They were young, they talked like hustlers, they acted like entrepreneurs, but deep down, something was off from them from day one. And what it was they were thieves. Once that truth was in front of me, I knew I couldn't stay another second. So I just walked away completely forever. Not from fear, but from principle. Because once you've seen what I've seen, you can't unsee that in your mind. So this is the reason why I built Big Rig Nation. I didn't build it as a brand, not as a business, not as a YouTube channel, not to be famous on Facebook, but as a mission. A mission to make sure no driver ever sits at their kitchen table staring at settlements thinking that they've done something wrong. A mission to expose the truth these companies hide. A mission to protect the men and women who keep America alive. And it's a mission to raise the standard in our industry, a mission to make this damn sure that trucking is going to change. And, now almost 10 years later, when I pulled out my old statements to remind myself and to remind drivers to show them exactly what I have lived through, and after reviewing hundreds of more of these since then, I can tell you confidently, I know exactly how corrupt these leases and contracts are. And I want to say this clearly. If you want a real job, I'll help you get one. Every carrier in our group is vetted. They're honest people who work as hard as you do, and they do not steal from drivers. And if they're smart, they better never start, because we will call it out and I'll do a whole lot more than just talk about it. And to that young man from Western Flyer Express who said, show me a better lease, here's my final answer. Find yourself an honest company. Quit driving your damn life away to make someone else rich. Be smarter, protect your future, and stop letting them convince you that breaking even is just trucking. That's not trucking, okay? It's theft. So this is my story, and this is the truth, and this is why I fight for drivers every single day. I hope you've enjoyed this, and now you know a little bit more about us and why Big Rig Nation exists today.